What is the spiritual meaning of social media profiles in dreams? Let's get right into it because it is so much deeper and so much stranger than you think. When you think of Frida Kahlo, don't think vanity. Think chaos. Pure, constant, personal chaos. Her paintings, all those self-portraits, they weren't about ego. They were about control. The face she presented to the world, that was the one thing she felt she could curate. 55 times she painted her own face, and each one was a document of a life just shattered. A bus crash that destroyed her body, a husband who was constantly cheating, a spine held together by a steel corset, and frankly, just pure will. But look, this obsessive curation, it came at a price, a huge one. The more she perfected that icon, the unibrow, the dress, the flowers, the more the real Frida, the woman underneath, just fractured. The world absolutely ate up the image, but it left the actual person to starve. So what happened? She drank herself into an early grave at 47. Think about it. Her painted face was her profile picture. And you know where it would show up? In her dreams, as a mask, a stranger, a double, just staring back at her. Does that sound familiar at all? Okay, section 1, the mask in your dream. Yeah, this is where we get personal. So when someone's profile picture just floats through your dream, whose face are you actually looking at? Is it really them, or is it the carefully crafted version of them they want you to see? And why? Why does this flat digital image carry so much emotional weight in your head? How can a bunch of pixels literally haunt your subconscious? So are you really dreaming of a person? Or is that face just a symbol for something inside of you that you've tried to bury deep down? And here's the kicker, the one that really gets under your skin. What does it mean when it's your own profile picture that shows up in a dream and you don't recognize the person staring back at you? Look, these aren't just casual fun questions. No, these are life or death questions about the war that's raging between your authentic self and that curated mask you've put out there for everyone else to see. All right, section 2, a message from the unconscious. Because believe me, your dream is desperately trying to tell you something. The psychologist Carl Jung had a name for this. He called it the persona. It's the social mask we all wear just to get by in the world. And you know what? It's necessary. But it gets dangerous, real dangerous, when that mask basically fuses to your face, when you can't tell the difference between the image and the person. That's when your psyche steps in. It stages an intervention, and that intervention, well, that's the dream. Just think about what your dream is doing here. It's taking that image, that profile picture, and it's elevating it. Your unconscious is literally plucking it out of all that endless digital noise and handing it to you like a flaming torch. It's screaming one thing: pay attention to this. Section 3, the war of two selves. And this isn't just about you. This isn't some isolated personal struggle. This is the defining conflict of our time. Let me give you the brutal truth. We are living through a mass identity crisis. Billions with a B, billions of people have literally split themselves into two separate beings. Just look at the divide, right? On one side, you've got the lived self. It's messy, it's uncertain, it's hungry and afraid and full of contradictions. That's the real you. But then, over on the other side, you've got the posted self. Confident, aesthetically perfect, only vulnerable when it's strategic, when it's gonna get engagement. That split, that is spiritually catastrophic. Jung called all those parts of yourself you don't acknowledge the shadow. The great mythologist Joseph Campbell, he called living this unexamined life a refusal of the call. But they were both saying the exact same thing. If you do not face what is real inside of you, it will face you. And guess where? It will face you in your dreams. Which brings us to our final section. Section 4, look, your life depends on it. This is the critical takeaway. So please, don't dismiss this. That profile picture popping up in your dream, it is not just some random digital fluff. It's a symbol. And it's loaded with the mythological weight of that war between who you pretend to be and who you really are. This is a direct message being handed to you from your unconscious. It's a truth you've probably been avoiding for months, maybe even for years. Do not make the mistake of thinking this dream is trivial. It's a message. It's from the absolute deepest part of you, and it's being sent directly to that mask you put on every single day. In the message, it couldn't be simpler. Look. Actually look. Because your life, your real life, just might depend on it. Part 2. So if you've been having those weird, unsettling dreams about your social media, you really need to listen up. Because this isn't just random noise, it's a direct message. Look, these aren't 10 different things we're talking about. No, they're 10 different angles on one, honestly, terrifying truth. Your unconscious, it's using all this digital imagery to run a full-blown audit on your identity. It's hijacking the language you know best. Profiles, likes, that endless scroll, to tell you something absolutely critical about who you are, and maybe more importantly, who you're becoming. So yeah, this is your personal identity audit. Let's start decoding it. Okay, first up, the fractured self. When the mirror cracks. This is where the audit really begins, right? We're looking at dreams about your own identity. This is where that digital version of you, your online reflection, starts to talk back. So have you ever had this one, dreaming of your own profile picture? You see it in your dream, right? Your face, but something is just wrong. It's blank, it's frozen, maybe it doesn't even feel like you anymore. So what is your unconscious really trying to tell you here? This is the central conflict. On one side, you've got the mask, that curated, frozen, perfect object you present to the world. And on the other, the face, the real you, raw, unpolished. This dream is your persona, that social mask in open revolt. It's a giant warning sign that the mask has gotten too heavy, maybe a little too real. And your authentic self, it's suffocating underneath all that performance. You've lost the thread back to who you actually are. And then there's what we call a sovereignty dream. This one's a straight-up nightmare. It's when your profile picture changes without your consent. You log on and boom, someone else's face is where yours should be. You try to change it, but you can't. This is a psychic alarm bell going off. Your unconscious is screaming at you that your identity is being controlled, maybe even consumed by some external force. It could be a job, a relationship, that crushing pressure to be someone you're not. Your mind is screaming for you to take back control. Or how about this one? The ultimate social media horror story, 0 likes. You dream of posting something deeply, deeply personal, and you get crickets. Nothing. Absolute digital silence. And that feeling of dread is just catastrophic. But listen, this isn't about vanity. Your unconscious is running a fire drill. It's literally pushing you into the abyss to force you to ask one question. Who are you when no one is watching? When all that validation just vanishes, what's left? And that leads us to this feeling, the wasteland. It's that dream of empty, endless scrolling. You're just moving through profile after profile, surrounded by all these images of life, but all you feel is this hollow, soul-deep dread. This is straight out of mythology. It's a spiritual desert. Your psyche is literally showing you the absolute hollowness of the digital mirage you've gotten yourself lost in. Okay, so what's your move? How do you escape this? You run your own audit. Seriously, for the next 72 hours, I want you to track your emotional avoidance scrolling. Notice every single time you reach for your phone, not because you're curious, but because you're trying to avoid a feeling. Step 2, name it. Call it out. I'm feeling bored. I'm feeling anxious. And then step 3, interrupt it with something real. Put the phone down. Call a friend. Make a meal. Go outside. You have to interrupt the pattern. Think of this as an urgent psychic intervention. All right, next section, ghosts in the machine. We're talking about messages from the digital beyond. Now we're going to look at those dreams where other people's faces show up. And let me give you a huge warning right up front. These dreams are never about them. They are always, always about you. Okay, think of this as a rapid-fire diagnostic. If you dream of an ex's profile, it's not about them. It's your unconscious showing you the animus, a part of yourself you abandoned. If you see a deceased person's profile, that's a threshold guardian. It's a call to let something in your life die so something new can begin. A complete stranger's profile, that's your shadow, the version of you that's just waiting to be lived. And a friend's profile, that's about projection. It's mirroring your own inner conflict and division. See, they're all messengers from your soul. But what if the profile is beautiful and you feel terrified? This is where things get a little darker. You're dreaming of a profile and it is just perfect, flawless, radiant, impossibly curated. And looking at it fills you with this deep, gut-wrenching dread. Why is that? It's because you've come face to face with a powerful archetype, the devouring mother. This is the dark side of the goddess figure. It's that beauty that freezes you, that perfection that diminishes you. It's comparison culture turned into a toxic, soul-eating god. Your psyche is screaming at you that this image you're worshiping, it's actually eating you alive. So what's your move? An exorcism. Step 1. Identify the toxic image. You know which one it is. Step 2. Recognize this isn't just an influencer. It's a mythological threat to your well-being. And step 3, you unfollow. And I want you to see this as a definitive spiritual act. This is not petty drama. This is a powerful, non-negotiable act of self-preservation. You are literally banishing a toxic deity from your psychic space. Okay, so we've done the diagnosis, we've done the exorcism. What's next? The path to integration. This is about forging a soul in the digital fire. This is the final and, honestly, the most crucial part of the audit. It's all about taking back your power and forging something whole. And this brings us to what might be the most potent dream of all, individuation. This is when you dream of actively building your own profile picture. You're in the dream, choosing, editing, creating. This is the conscious construction of an integrated identity. This is you becoming a whole, complete individual, right there in the dream. You are consciously deciding who you are and how you're going to present that truth to the world. Your hero's journey is starting. This is the road of trials. And make no mistake, this is the real work. You are not just choosing a photo, you are choosing who you are willing to become. This is about letting the outside finally reflect what's on the inside. You're aligning that external mask with your internal truth, maybe for the very first time. And that is the entire goal of this whole audit. So here it is. Your unconscious is showing you the path. Your dreams are not random. They are a roadmap, a full, detailed, and, yes, sometimes brutal audit of your soul. They are showing you the fractured mask, the ghosts in the machine, and the path forward, the path to forging an integrated self. The only question left is the one your unconscious is asking you, night after night. Are you brave enough to walk it? Part 3. We are so past theory here. This is about what you do right now, before your own dream has to scream to get your attention. Look, your unconscious has been patient. It's been sending you signals for a while now, and it's not using some ancient mystical code. It's using the language you speak every single day. You know, the old symbols, the labyrinth, the serpent, the dark woods, they just don't land like they used to. So your psyche is smart. It's using the images you stare at 100 times a day to get through to you. And let's be really clear about this. It's your turn to respond. Your psyche is not going to wait around forever. Ignoring this has a cost. The time for just thinking about it is over. It's time to act. So, how do you actually process the world? What's coming next are a few different practices for different types of women. Find the one that feels like it's for you, the one that makes you just a little bit uncomfortable, and you're going to do it this week. First up, let's talk about the practices that ask you to turn inward, to really look and to create something real from whatever it is you find in there. Okay, if you're a writer, if you make sense of your life by putting words on a page, you need to listen up. This is not some gentle journaling prompt. You need to pay close attention to that last step, that one sentence, the thing you absolutely refuse to say out loud even to yourself. That's the whole message. Do this for 30 days, and at the end, I want you to read only those refusal sentences, one after the other. What you'll have is, well, it's profound. You're not just journaling. You're literally drawing a map of your own shadow, all the parts of you that you've shoved into the dark. That map is worth more than anything you have ever posted online. All right, now for the artists, the makers, the women who think in images and texture and color. Here's your assignment. Think of it as a form of what Carl Jung called active imagination. You're going to create an image, not of who you wish you were, but of who you are right now, when absolutely no one is looking. It has to be honest. It can be ugly, if that's what's true. Then you're going to hang it somewhere private, and you will look at it every single morning before you even think about touching your phone. You have to get this. This is not a performance. This is you authoring your own story, not just illustrating someone else's idea of you. This image is for you and you alone. It's a daily, physical reminder of the real person who exists behind the screen. Okay, now we're going to shift. We're moving from the inner work to the outer world. These next practices, they require real, tangible action.
So, if you're a doer, someone who needs to move, to act, to physically change something to understand it, this is your experiment.
I want you to delete your most used social media app for 2 weeks. And this is not a digital detox, okay? This is a controlled experiment. When that profile picture, that little icon, vanishes from your daily ritual, something else is going to bubble up to the surface. It will feel uncomfortable. Your only job is to sit with it. Don't push it away. This is straight out of the hero's journey. I mean, Joseph Campbell was crystal clear. You have to leave the ordinary world to begin the adventure. Your feed is the ordinary world. You cannot start the real journey while you're still refreshing it. And finally, we have the practices of connection. And no, not the digital kind. Real, messy, human connection with others and with yourself. And for those of you who process through dialogue, the ones who find clarity by talking things out, your challenge is direct, and it requires a professional eye and one very, very hard question. You're going to book 1 hour today, and you're going to ask one simple question. Where does the face I show the world split away from the person I actually am? This isn't just routine maintenance. This is emergency repair work for the gap between your persona and your soul. And let me be perfectly clear. Urgency isn't me being dramatic. It's an accurate description of what's at stake. Because that split, if you let it go, it doesn't just stay in your head. It bleeds into your relationships, your health, your choices. It will cost you things you can never get back. So where does all this lead? It leads to you facing your own unfiltered self-portrait. And there's a really powerful, kind of cautionary tale about this. Frida Kahlo lived this war her entire life. The tension between her public, painted face and her private, pained one was just immense. It literally exhausted her to death. But her art, my God, her portraits told the absolute brutal truth. It was an unfiltered look at a soul at war with itself. And that brings us to the bottom line. The question isn't what your dream means. You don't need another person to tell you. If you're honest with yourself, you already know. The real question, the only one that matters right now, is this one. Are you brave enough to actually do something about what you know? The time for thinking, for waiting, is over. Act on it, now.